Iraq also became a haven for dissident Iranians determined to bring about the downfall of the Khomeini regime. The Mujahideen, the Iranian National Liberation Army, grew in power in the closing stages of the war. Operating from Iraqi soil, they probed deep into Iranian territory, scored spectacular successes, and struck at the very heart of a demoralized army. The fact that the Iranian army found itself fighting fellow countrymen must have further weakened morale. For these prisoners, the shock of finding that they were face to face, not with the hated Iraqis, but with other Iranians, was surely traumatic.
Thousands of Khomeini's forces are killed or wounded.
Iran, Kermanshah province, Islamabad, Karand, the battle honors of the Iranian National Liberation Army. At one point they occupied for a few days positions more than 150 kilometers inside Iran. Well trained, disciplined, the Mujahideen could muster upwards of 15,000 armed men and women. For part of their shock effect was the fact that women's brigades fought alongside the men in the thick of battle. Many have been tortured in Khomeini's jails. Most journeyed thousands of miles via Pakistan, Turkey and America to join the NLA. This young woman, with her last days of the war, it was the turn of her prisoners to be humiliated. But wasn't she afraid in battle?
She says, why we should be afraid? It's them who were afraid of us. It's the time for Khomeini to really be frightened from us. When Mujahid has made the decision to stand up and fight, it's on Khomeini and his pastoran to be frightened.
The INLA claims to have killed more than 50,000 Iranians in the last 3 months of the war. They undoubtedly had Iraqi army support, artillery and air cover. But the Mujahideen bought their newfound influence in blood. There are reports that they suffered heavy losses in the last days of the war. And they could face an uncertain future, ending as little more than expendable pawns at the peace negotiations. It seems likely that they too are supported by the Gulf states, such as Kuwait, with a vested interest in keeping the war at arm's length in someone else's backyard. For none of Iran's neighbors have been immune from the effects of the revolution.